Hello, this is Touch&Light Academy. I am Damilare Ojo, and today we want to check some biology objective questions. Okay, let us get started. Which of the following is not correct about human cell? The correct option is all the cells in organism are the same. All the cells in organism are not the same. They are not the same. Sometimes we have single-celled organism. We have multicellular organisms and many other things. So the statement is incorrect, because in multicellular organisms like human beings, the cells are specialized to perform different functions. For instance, we have the nerve cells, the muscle cells, and the blood cells. And they have distinct functions. They are not the same. They are not the same. Okay? Question 2. Which organ removes the largest quantity of water from the blood? The largest quantity of water from the blood. The correct answer there is the kidney. The lung may be moist, but we are talking about largest quantity of water. The skin, sweat can come out of it, but it's not big as we expect. It's not a lot of water. So the kidneys are primarily responsible for removing the largest quantity of water from the blood. The fetal waste product and excess water from the blood. So it is this filtration that would eventually lead to the formation of urine that is then excreted from the body. So, and this will help us to have a fluid balance and maintain homeostasis. Question 3 is, in cold condition, the mammalian body reacts in the following ways except when you are cold. In cold condition, what are the reactions of your body? You discover that sometimes you shiver, then there is constriction of blood capillaries in the skin. There will be increased rate of chemical changes in the body. So definitely the correct option would be dilation of the capillaries supplying blood to the skin. Dilation of the capillaries does not occur under cold condition. The body does not dilate. Okay. Instead, what we have is vasoconstriction. So I want you to remember that during cold condition, what we have is vasoconstriction. Then during hot condition, what we have is vasodilation. Okay, vasodilation. The next is the glomerular filtrate contains the following substances except. The glomerular filtrate contains the following substances except. The correct option there is the blood corpuscles. Okay, the blood corpuscles. The glomerular filtrate cannot contain, something large. It can contain water, urea, glucose, but the blood cells are quite large. Then it cannot handle proteins too. Okay, so let us look into that. Blood corpuscles and proteins. Then the next is, which of the following endocrine glands is a master gland? That is the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is the master gland. Okay. It produces hormones that regulate many other endocrine glands in the body. Okay, and it plays crucial role in controlling growth, metabolism, reproductive function, as well as, stimulating other glands like thyroid, adrenal, gonads, pineal, adrenal, So the pituitary gland is a master gland. To question 6, the endocrine gland secreting hormone that induces the thyroid gland to produce more thyroxine. We just talked about that now, that the pituitary gland will induce other glands like thyroid gland, adrenal gland, the gonads, and many others to produce, and secrete more hormones. So the pituitary gland will secrete thyroid stimulating hormone. We call it a TSH. Okay, so it is to stimulate it to produce more thyroxine. Then question 7, the part of the nervous system that interprets blinking of the eye, involuntary action, blinking of the eye. So that is the cerebrum. The cerebrum is the part of the brain, responsible for interpreting sensory information, like visual stimuli that can trigger the blinking reflex. Okay, so we have to pay attention to that. Then question 8, which of the following is the function of the iris of the mammalian eye? The iris of the mammalian eye helps to regulate the amount of light entering the eye. Okay, the iris is that colored part of the eye, So it is the one that controls the size of the pupil. When you are exposed to some brighter light, okay, it will cause your pupil to be dim a little bit. But when you are in a dark situation, it will make it big. Your pupil will be large that time. So iris regulates the amount of light and it adjusts a pupil's size in response to light intensity. Okay, it will constrict in bright light and dilate in low light. Then question 9. The layer of light sensitive cells in the human eye is called a dash. The light sensitive cells, the layer, that is the retina. The retina is a layer of light sensitive cells located at the back of the eye. It has what we call the photoreceptor cells, those two, rods and cones. Okay, so they try to detect light and they convert it into electrical signals, and these are sent to the brain through the optic nerve for visual interpretation. Okay. Then question 10. Placentation of plants is best described as the dash. That is the arrangement of ovules. The arrangement of ovules in the ovary. So that is option A. And you know that when we say placentation, it is how ovules are positioned and attached within the ovary. So if you look at the ovary part of a female reproductive structure of a flower, you see that it contains one or more ovules that will develop into seeds after fertilization. So the arrangement of the pattern, that is what we call placentation. And if you look at it, you can see exile, placentation there, represented as B. You can see that we can find examples like tomatoes, okay. And if you look at parietal, which is C, something like cucumber, okay. So, and many others. Then they say that the function of the amniotic fluid in human is to dash. It is to protect the fetus against shocks. Okay, that is the basic function of the amniotic fluid. The amniotic fluid will protect the fetus. Okay, they try to surround the fetus so that the fetus will not experience a physical trauma, any kind of mechanical shocks. Okay, so that is that, and they help to maintain consistent temperature. Okay, consistent temperature to the fetus. Then question 12, which of the following statements about water in humans is not correct? Water plays an important role in temperature regulation. It acts as solvent for substances conveyed around the body. It is needed for many life processes, but it does not directly play a role in the formation of vitamin. You get vitamins from your diet, okay, from the food you eat. For instance, if you want to get vitamin A, which is retinol, you may need to take some food, perhaps like palm oil, and maybe you can get that from your eggs. If you want to get vitamin B's, B12, many other B6 and all, you may need to eat, food like meat and fish and egg. So you get your vitamins from your diet, not necessarily from water. So that's option C. 13, in the test for starch, when you are testing for starch, the leaf is first placed in boiling water to dash. The leaf is first placed in boiling water to dash. When you place it in boiling water, you want to kill and make the leaf permeable. You want to kill and make the leaf permeable. There are stages, there are steps to that. The first is you put it in boiling water so that you can kill the leaf and make it permeable. Then you can put it in ethanol or alcohol to remove the chlorophyll too. Then you can put it, in warm water before you now begin to add the iodine to it, and then you may be having your blue black, So that is that. Then 14. Which of the following groups of compounds are product of the light stage of photosynthesis? Okay, we have the light stage of photosynthesis, we have the dark stage of photosynthesis. But then the product of the light stage of photosynthesis, number one, we have the formation of what we can call the Calvin cycle, so which is NADPH2 or NADPH. It is used as a reducing agent, in the Calvin cycle, especially, during the dark stage. So it will be formed. Then we have oxygen. Oxygen will be produced as a byproduct of water splitting, which is a photolysis. Okay. Then we have ATP, provides energy for the Calvin cycle. We know that approximately we are going to be having 38 ATP KCl produced. So the correct option will be 2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, and 4. The ribulose biphosphate, RUBP, is not produced during the light stage. It is involved in the Calvin cycle, like the dark stage, where it helps to fix carbon dioxide. So 15. Which of the following is considered to be the first product of photosynthesis? The first product of photosynthesis should be sugar or glucose, but you can see that there's no such option here. since we don't have such option, we need to look into what glucose will eventually be converted to. Okay, glucose will be converted into starch. Glucose will be converted into starch. So we may have to go for starch. So starch will be the correct option. Then question 16. Which of the following organisms exhibits extracellular digestion? So that is mold. Mold. You can say that typically you can see molds on your bread, if they have been sitting on the dining table for quite a long time. So, and they will exhibit extracellular digestion. Okay. The molds would secrete digestive enzymes outside the cells to break down organic matter into simpler substances. Okay. Question 17. Which of the following essential substances is contained in vegetables? That is mineral salts. In vegetables, we have mineral salts like potassium, calcium, magnesium, and iron, and they are very important for bodily functions. The next is good quality food will perform the following function in humans, except that it will supply you energy, it will sustain your growth, it will maintain your health, but it does not directly provide resistance against malaria. Okay, so resistance to malaria depends on several factors like the genetic factors, your immunity, and maybe you take anti-malaria medication or mosquito control. Okay, it has nothing directly to do with the quality of food that you take. Then 19, good quality food. Okay, that is a repetition, I think. Okay, question 20. The type of nutrition shown by Spirogyra is dash. Okay, remember that Spirogyra is a green algae. Okay, it is a green filamentous algae, and since it is green, then we think in line of autotrophs. Okay, autotrophic nutrition, and another name for that is holophytic. So Spirogyra as a green algae exhibits holophytic nutrition to produce their own food. Then 21. Ecology is best defined as the study of dash. Ecology is the study of interrelationship between living organisms and their environment. Interrelationship between living organisms and their environment. So you can see how plants and animals and microorganisms are interacting, how they influence distribution and flow of energy. 22. Which of the following values showing the total biomass of organisms in a food chain represents the secondary consumer? Okay, now let's quickly talk about this. When we say secondary consumer, we always have we have producer, we have primary consumer, we have secondary consumer. In that level, the producers, they are very many. There are very many in the ecosystem. So they should take the 40,000, the producers like the green plants and that can manufacture their food themselves. Then the primary consumer like goats, herbivores, they are the primary consumer, so they take the 3,000. Then the secondary consumers, which are carnivores that we eat the herbivores, would then go for the 20. They will now go for the 20. And then we always have eventually the tertiary consumers, which are the top predators. So they are the ones with the lowest biomass. So the correct option here will be 20 from that order: producer, primary consumer, secondary consumer. Which of the following environmental factors is not considered in a terrestrial habitat? You do need to consider turbidity in a terrestrial habitat. Temperature, yes, sunlight, humidity. Turbidity has to do with the cloudiness, or haziness of a fluid, usually water. So it is an environmental factor in aquatic habitat, since we are talking about water here. So they are not relevant in terrestrial habitat. The gas produced during decomposition of matter is dash. The gas produced during decomposition, so that is hydrogen sulfide, especially in anaerobic conditions. Hydrogen sulfide is often produced. Okay, it is the one that usually has this rotten egg smell. Okay, rotten egg smell. Then 25 say fish cannot survive on land because it has dash. Okay, fish cannot, because it has no lungs. Okay, fish primarily we have to breathe through their gills, and these gills we extract oxygen from water. So if they are not in water, they will not be able to breathe, and they may die. So unlike other land animals, they have lungs. Okay, and lungs are adapted for breathing air. So that is the same way some organisms that do not have gills will not survive in water. So pneumatophores are essential for that. Pneumatophores are essential for breathing. In fact, we call them breathing roots. Breathing roots, or area roots. You can see them growing in water, like especially in waterlogged conditions. Some of these plants that does not really have, they are like roots, but they grow in water. This is the example of a pneumatophore. You can see it on water growing. So that is that. Then 27. Which of the following we have the least effect on the rate of change of the numbers in a population? Food supply, we have great effect. Predation, definitely. Disease, but mutation is a genetic variation. Okay, it occurs at a low rate. So it does not bring a rapid change. So not like food supply, predation, and disease. 28. Competition among individuals of a population increases the dash. That is survival of the fittest. You remember Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. It is the survival of the fittest. That is natural selection. So then 29. Rabbits cannot survive in an aquatic because the same thing we just said concerning fish. Rabbits cannot survive in water because they don't have gills, and fish cannot survive on land because they don't have lungs. Okay, so 30. Viruses are pathogens of the following diseases, except viruses cause measles, they cause smallpox, and they cause poliomyelitis. So the only thing that is caused by that is not caused by virus here is tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is caused by a bacterium that is called Mycobacterium tuberculosis. It's not a virus. So that is that for this episode. Thank you. Please remember to like and subscribe. You can leave comments and we answer them necessarily. Thank you.